Simply put, one of the most important and memorable events in the history of the state. It was nearly a year ago that fire, fueled by hurricane-force winds and drought conditions, suddenly raced into parts of Louisville and Superior. And in all, the Marshall Fire would eventually take more than 1,000 homes.
Today, our Originals team is unveiling a massive project designed to help all of us better understand just what took place that terrible day. And our Chris Vanderveen shows us the project's heart really exists online.
Start with the address itself, marshallfiremap.com. Head there, scroll down, and you'll see this, a map of the burn zone and a series of little orange dots. On the upper left, you'll see a bar. Slide it to 1 p.m. and click on, let's say this one, 114 Nick Kaplan. This is what he saw and where he saw it at that moment. Slide the bar to 2 p.m. Go north, this dot. A dash camera from Sunshine Fire Protection District. Now let's zoom in a little and switch directions and head over here, 4:18 p.m. West Metro 5. You get the idea. Now scroll down, click here.
Okay, there you go.
A 21-minute documentary on the spread of the fire and what that means for all of us in Colorado moving forward.
When people look at Superior, what they need to understand is that this can now happen anywhere. Places where people live, high dense populations, and every community needs to be on high alert.
Scroll down more. Here you'll find interviews with those who saw the fire firsthand. Listen to Robert Gutierrez.
Holy 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 did you guys just see that?
Listen to his reaction as he witnesses explosive growth in the fire's first hour. Now click on Evacuation up top and you'll find Steve Steger's investigation that examines how this state does and does not alert people when danger nears.
It's a failure. It's an abject failure.
I mean, it makes me angry, frankly. I expected somebody to call me or text me on my phone and say it's time to evacuate.
Click on Rebuild on top. We've profiled 3 families for a year now as they attempt to rebuild.
What were we saying? Like, there's another fire, follow the chickens, or follow the animals? Like,
they know how to survive.
Like, what was the temperature between the houses, and where did they go, and how did they make it?
There's a lot more to explore here, and we would love it if you did just that. Again, head to marshallfiremap.com. We've spent a year working on this. Why? Because we, like you, had never seen anything quite like this fire.
This is a vast project. How did you put all this together? How did you assemble all this and figure out a way to channel it into a place where people could go?
It really was the brainchild of Chris Hansen, a photographer here at the station, and it really started gathering more than now 650 distinct videos that were gathered really within about an 8-hour period on that day. And really, it becomes that first-person narrative of what that fire was like at that moment, at that time. And really the key to this website is the map itself, because you can go through time and see where the fire was at that particular time. And I think what I'm left with is how quickly it moved and how little time people had to prepare. And I think that has a lesson for all of us in the state, particularly people living along the Front Range. A lot of those people, you guys know, they didn't think they were vulnerable until that fire got so close.
Watching some of it, first of all, the way that you've told this story and everyone is explaining from a personal one-on, it's just incredible. But like, you think of location markers, even if you don't live really close to there. I mean, for those of us that drive through that area, Costco is a location marker for me. The Chuck E. Cheese, location marker. When you show that video and the way it moves, it should be just a big wake-up call to everyone in our state.
I think that's what this fire is that it's a huge wake-up call for all of us, because in Colorado, we're used to forest fires. We know that forest fires can strike at any time up in the mountains. There's lots of woods, there's lots of trees up there that can catch fire, that get these big fires going. And for years and years, that's historically what we've had. Now you have a situation where a fire can start very small as a grass fire and move into a suburban area. And once it moves into a suburban area, the nature of the fire completely changes and it becomes unlike anything we've seen before. They call it an urban firestorm, and that's what we saw that day.
I think there was all those wooden fences.
Yep.
There was no stopping it yesterday. It was, I mean, last year I meant, it was just raging and it was going where it wanted to go. This is a very comprehensive look at something that's really hard and still hard for many to get their arms around. But for those who want to examine more, it's right there for them, a click away.
Yeah, we realize this is a difficult project and this is a difficult subject for a lot of folks. But I think it's important, and there's going to be a lot of people within the burn zone that just simply don't want to watch this.
Sure.
That's fine. But people outside of the burn zone, to get an idea of how this moved, you've got to have an understanding because people had 10 or 15 minutes to get out of their home. And these types of fires will happen again. Hopefully not anytime soon, but they will happen again.
All right, check it out. Thanks, Chris.
You bet.